Alright, David Harry here. So getting straight to the point, in my opinion, the M3 Ultra is a load of bullshit, and it is just one massive cynical move by Apple to cover up a previous cynical move. Now, I'm going to explain these cynical moves in a moment, but first of all, the reason why I'm doing this video. So anybody familiar with my channel will know I don't really do these types of, is this like a reaction video? I don't know. Whatever this is, I don't normally do this. However, I think I will start doing more of them. What it is, I've just been watching a couple of videos by two different YouTubers, and they basically might have been doing the exact same video and singing from the same deluded hymn sheet. So basically these were two quite obvious super fanboys, and who had quite clearly drunken far too much of the Kool-Aid, or dare I say the apple juice, and they were just spouting on about the M3 Ultra as if it was going to be like the next coming of Christ, or at the very least the next best thing since sliced bread. Anywho, so I just listened to that horse shit and I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to have to do a video of my own then. Anyway, so moving on. So what I'm saying here about Apple's cynical moves. So if we look back to the last Mac Pro that was released, that was a computer that come out and was only competing with another Apple product as far as its processing power was concerned. We absolutely got nothing, no advantage in processing power with that last Mac Pro. So to be clear, we have a Mac Studio and a Mac Pro. Both of them have got the exact same processing power. So the only difference is that you're spending $4,000 more for the Pro, for the advantage of having the extra PCIe slots on it. However, these are PCIe slots that you can't just expand any way that you want to, right? And Apple know all this. So Apple bring to market a computer which is about twice the price of another computer which is on par with the processing power, and also decide that they're going to sell wheels to people for $1,000. Sorry, I've just cracked myself up. Seriously, when you say it out loud, $1,000 for a set of fucking wheels for a computer. What's that about? Anyway, so Apple quite clearly thought to themselves, we can release this product because there's going to be people out there to buy it, right? Because of Apple's hubris and, just their sheer arrogance. Anyway, I think it became clear after they released that Mac Pro that, no, there wasn't enough stupid people out there to buy it, because most people who had sense were going to go, I get very little for all that extra money. I can't even put into it the PCIe cards that I'd want. So I'm just going to stick with the Studio, and it has got the exact same processing power. Anyway, so Apple come unstuck there, I think. So they just were their own downfall. They did a stupid move and they suffered for it. So that was cynical move number one, trying to sell something to people that was like snake oil, do you know what I mean? But now what they're doing is they're going, okay, so this year we're not going to make that mistake again. So cynical move number two, and that is to now split the difference between the platform. So let's get a clear dividing line as to what the processing power is between the Studio and the Pro. And don't get me wrong, that should be there. But that SKU didn't exist when they introduced the Pro, as far as Apple Silicon is concerned. But what they're doing now, because they never thought this thing through properly, and because they don't have a processor more powerful than the Ultra, regardless of all these highfalutin ideas of extreme processors and stuff that we've been, hearing bandied about, there is no extra processor above the Ultra. And so without that definition between the Studio and the Pro, Apple are not going to do that again, release a product which is twice the price but doesn't offer you any more processing power. So the way that they get around that is the M4 Ultra is obviously already being made without a doubt. So, but rather than give the M4 Ultra to the Studio, they've now come up with the M3 Ultra. So we get the M3 Ultra for the studio, and I can guarantee you that whenever it is further down the line this year, we see a new Mac Pro, but that's the only device that we're going to see the M4 Ultra in. So for all of us who were waiting for the studio with an M4 Ultra, maybe we see that when the M5 comes out. So the M5 Max goes to the MacBook from here on in, and then the previous Ultra then drops down to the actual like studio. And then what they're doing is keeping the latest Ultra for the Mac Pro, which is definitely a computer that not many people will buy. Anyway, as you can see in there, what Apple have done is basically come to the studio users and said, yeah, thanks very much for letting us know that these Ultra processors were a big deal, because you guys have sold it to us. This Ultra is definitely a chip worth investing in. However, we're not going to give this to you anymore. We're now going to shove this into the even more expensive computer. So as far as I'm concerned, massive cynical move. So the whole thing is cynical from top to bottom, you know, forcing the studio users to now go backwards, you know, as far as the silicon is concerned. Now, don't get me wrong, the M3 Ultra is going to be powerful, of course it is, but it's not going to be as powerful as an M4 Ultra, and it is the M4 Ultra that we should be getting in this next studio. Anyway, I could just rabbit on and on here and bleat on about stuff, but I'm just going off the top of my head here, and I'm highly likely to start swearing if I don't shut my face. But basic bottom line is that I truly believe that this is a really horrible, cynical move by Apple, and I would just love to know if there's anybody else out there who agrees with that sentiment. Anyway, I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.